My roommate's cat doesn't want to cuddle with me. You make me sad, Sybil. So on November 18th, 2016, which was a day before my 21st birthday, Bruno Mars released his third album, 24 Karat Magic. And after listening to the whole thing, despite websites saying that Bruno Mars had a part in all of the songs, I really highly doubt he had any say of which songs went on the album in the first place. Like with 24 Karat Magic, I don't want to say the album was completely out of character, because it's not. Like, you listen to these songs and you can tell which ones are really Bruno Mars songs, and while other songs could be sung by literally any other person in the R&B slash hip-hop industry. It was just that noticeable. And, if Bruno Mars really wanted to do an album that consists of dance tunes, mostly, all the power to him. I just found this album so weird to listen to, because I've listened to doo-wops and hooligans and Unorthodox Jukebox, and those are more Bruno Mars songs than this album consists. So the first song of the album is the title song, 24 Karat Magic. And I remember the first time I listened to this song, I think it was during like first couple of months of school where I first heard this. And I listened to it and I was like, this is not a Bruno Mars song, is it? Because it resembled a lot of Uptown Funk, which had been popular for the past 2 years. And Uptown Funk, even though that featured Bruno Mars, it's not a Bruno Mars song. It's a funky dance jam with Bruno Mars in it. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. In fact, I like Uptown Funk. I know a lot of people who love Uptown Funk. But do we really need a Bruno Mars logoed Uptown Funk for his own album? Like, he could have just slipped in Uptown Funk into 24 Karat Magic, and that would have made a lot more sales. The next song on the album, titled Chunky, is basically 24 Karat... Hey, Sybil, are you back? Are you gonna be sleeping on my pillow? She's probably gonna be laying on the pillow. I mean, if you want to cuddle me, that's fine. The second song on the album, Chunky, is what I like to call 24 Karat Magic, the sequel, or that's what I like, the prequel. Because it has elements of both songs that got really popular off the album before it was released exactly. I mean, it's a kind of catchy dance song, party song, don't get me wrong, but it's just like, I think it was just thrown in there for the sake of being there, because hey, an album's not an album unless you have like 9 to 10 songs on it, right? With the next song on the album, called Perm, this is where I started to see that, yeah, Bruno Mars did have something to do with this project. I mean, this is not the first time that Bruno Mars has done something in the Motown style. I mean, do you guys remember Treasure from years ago? And by the way, I still think Treasure really reminds me of Rock With You by Michael Jackson. With Perm, I really think that Bruno Mars really wanted something really catchy, unlike 24 Karat Magic and the other one that I'm starting to forget the name now because, oh my god, that song kinda sucks. With Perm, yeah, it kinda uses the hair metaphor because I... You know what, I had a reason, but I'm like, this album's just so weird to review that I'm kind of forgetting what I really want to say about it. Case in point, I think Perm is good. I'll be definitely listening to it more. Then we get to Bruno Mars' second single off this album, That's What I Like. And this song is fucking everywhere. I mean, everywhere. And I really don't blame them for this song being everywhere, because this song kinda goes back to Bruno Mars' original style, because, trust me, after hearing 24 Karat Magic for, like, a couple weeks, it kinda died down when other songs came onto the charts. But with That's What I Like, I heard the song every fucking day in the car. But it doesn't mean it's good. For the most part, yes. However, the beginning doesn't make sense, because first it talks about, like, Bruno Mars being the rich asshole, and then it goes to, treating his stripper with the best things in life. I admit it's a guilty pleasure song of mine because it's just that fucking catchy. And I find it somewhat romantic to an extent, but not as romantic as the song that I reviewed on Tuesday. Speaking of the song I reviewed on Tuesday, Versace on the floor. I'm not really gonna talk about this song, like, at all, because I did a whole giant review on it, as stated before. So, if you guys want to get a look at that, the link to the video is in the description box below. Feel free to check it out. By the way, it's super romantic, and this has to be the most Bruno Mars thing I've ever heard in my life. With this one, straight ups and downs, first of all, I bet your mama named you good looking is one of the worst pickup lines I have ever heard in my life. Second of all, this is basically an upbeat version of Versace on the Floor. And, nobody really asked for a upbeat Versace on the Floor. With Callin' All My Lovelies, I first thought this was a song that was Bruno dedicating himself to, of course, his fans. I mean, what musician doesn't want to dedicate to their fans? But then I quickly realized that this song is more passive-aggressive than that. It turns out this song is actually Bruno dissing this chick who's playing hard to get. So Bruno Mars' response is, "Oh, fuck you, because I have all these other ladies that I can fool around with, because they actually love me." Really? After a song like Young Girls, do you really want to be singing a song that's that passive-aggressive, Bruno? Because I highly doubt that will ever make any musician look good in their lifetime. Let's just say with this song, if 24 Karat Magic wasn't catchy enough to be the album title, I think Finesse would have been the more proper word for it. With Finesse, it definitely takes this album to a completely different direction, because it's another romance song. It's what, That's What I Like should have been. Because with the word finesse, it basically means refined delicacy. And what Bruno Mars is using this word for is saying, oh, his relationship with his girl is finesse. It's refined. It's proper. It's the way a relationship should be. I wish that Bruno could have taken it further, but for something that's the second to last song of the album, it just sounds so simple that it kind of makes me sad. I mean, I should like this song, and I do, but I don't like it as much as Versace on the Floor. And everyone, or a lot of people, love Versace on the Floor. That's why Versace on the Floor is on the pop radio. I just wish Finesse was something like more. And then with the last song, Too Good to Say Goodbye, we really start to find, I think, a pattern with Bruno Mars' albums. Because with Orthodox Jukebox, it also ended with a somber breakup song. And that's exactly what Too Good to Say Goodbye is. I guess with this album, it's fair to say that there is some sort of hidden relationship pattern in there, but Too Good to Say Goodbye for 24 Karat Magic feels out of place. Like, it doesn't have, like, the, excuse my pun, finesse that the other songs had. It doesn't have, like, this wealthy vibe. It's just a simple breakup song. Now, don't get me wrong, this song is actually very good. It's a really, really good song, and I love it. It's just... Why, Bruno, did you decide to put this last? Or in the album at all? In comparison to the other songs, it feels so weird. And this album just seems like a jumbled mess of what you really want versus what the public thinks it wants. With that said, I would give this album a 7.5 out of 10. You know what it wants to be, I guess, but at the same time, it wants to be something else to the point that it just mixes everything up. And, I really wanted to like this album. I really did, but in the end, all I did like were 2 single songs that were released, and 1 or 2 album songs that I really liked. I can see, like, everyone else fawning over this. Like, if you like the song 24 Karat Magic, then you're gonna like this album. But for me, like, I would just, like, buy, like, some of the songs on this album. Like, just getting the whole thing would be a complete waste of my money, to be honest with you. And the part that, makes me upset the most is that for something that's supposed to be his 3rd album, it really put Bruno Mars in a very awkward position. Because you want him to shine or outshine the other pop artists, but at the same time, he's not really doing that. He's sort of, like, blending himself with the other pop artists, and no, that's not what he was doing for the past couple years. He should not be doing that. Really, though, Bruno, I thought you were better than this. I seriously thought you were better than this. So, will this probably change with this next album? I sure goddamn hope so, because Bruno's not ready to become an unknown. He's not ready to disappear. Bruno's not ready to just go away. Bruno, please don't go away. So that's it for this album review, and if you like these album reviews to look at, don't worry, there will be more coming soon. I will try my best to make more, and I will be doing also a lot more, like, song reviews. So you guys will get your dose of good music, bad music, whatever you want music. It's all coming to you. I'm Cait, and it's been real. Bye-bye.